Casey with Journey to Programming. I'm making this video before I post my actual article on our website, Journey to Programming, and I'm also going to post it over on LinkedIn. But it's about looking for a job. We all have to look for jobs at some point. We're either entry level in the industry that we're going into. Perhaps you're a college student, perhaps you're someone that just went to a boot camp and you're trying to go into software development. Perhaps you're going into a completely different field and you're green to that field. You've never done it before. You are looking for a job, or you're somebody who's working in an industry or at a company and you've been there for a couple of years and now you're thinking about trying some other company. Maybe you want to go and change to a different industry within the same field that you're in. Perhaps you're a software developer and you've been working in the Department of Defense type companies or contractors. So you've been working with companies like Lockheed Martin or General Atomics. And now you want to go into the tech companies, right? So you want to apply to Google, you want to apply to Facebook. Now you want to put out your feelers. So you've decided you want to change it up. You want to go and try working at another company and see what it's like. So you've decided to put out feelers, right? All of us have gone through this. We're all going to have to keep going through this. Unless you're really, really lucky and you have a successful company, you don't have to put out resumes anymore and you don't have to look for jobs. We're all always going to have to look for jobs at one point. So my post is actually all about how it's always a pain to look for a new job. The job hunting process is complex. It's what I like to call a crapshoot, and it's never fun. It makes us feel kind of bad sometimes, especially if you're new to job hunting or you've been out of the hunt for a while. And you know, I think it's something which is definitely not spoken about nearly enough. I think especially as a technical person in an engineering field, again, Journey to Programming, these posts are usually about software development, but they really do relate to everything, any other field. Hunting for jobs, doing the job search and the interviews, the interview process is always difficult. It's always really competitive. You don't always get immediate feedback from the companies you're applying to, and you really don't have a clear way of applying to them. There's so many so many pieces of information that just aren't there for you. And what I'm posting about in this article is that process, some of my failures, and some of the things that really threw me off early on in my career. And then I'm also plugging one of my books that I'm actually releasing here in August. So in about a month and a half, I've been planning this release for a while, but I'm releasing a book on Amazon. It's going to go to Kindle. I'm also going to set it up for print shortly after, and then I'm also going to make the audiobook. But the book is all about the job search process. I'm not trying to rewrite a really technical interviewing book for software developers like Cracking the Coding Interview. I'm not trying to get that specific into how the coding interview process works at the big 4, big 5 companies. That's not the goal of this book. This book is designed to walk you through from the beginning to the end of the process of job hunting and getting through the interview process to getting a job offer, and the considerations that you're going to have to make throughout it, the way you should think about job hunting and submitting your applications, and the way it works from both sides of the job hunt process, from the recruitment side or the company looking to hire a worker like you, and from your side. Again, this post is going to be much shorter. All I'm talking about in this article is how when I started out, I graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in computer science, and you know, I thought I had enough background in programming because I started doing web development at a young age, and I began making websites for small businesses locally, and I went and got a computer science degree, so I learned the software development and the background theory behind programming, and I thought I was going to land a job immediately as a software engineer at a big company. That didn't happen. I got my butt kicked, to be quite frank, and I did a handful of interviews. I never got a call back after doing them, and to be honest, I probably only even heard back from maybe less than a dozen companies when I submit my resumes for the first year after graduating from college. In the end, it all worked out, but I actually ended up opening my own business out of college. I had already been doing web development for years, so I kind of had a business background. My family's always been in business, but I opened my own company with a few colleagues, and we ran it for about 2.5, 3 years, and then as everybody else, my co-founders went off and did their own thing. We kind of disbanded the company, unfortunately. We closed down shop. I began putting out feeler emails again and feeler resumes just to see if companies would be willing to hire. And I began getting interviews, although it was still very few and far in between. But I landed a few interviews, got really beat up again this time, and at this point I had interviewed with a few companies in Southern California, and those interviews just were really bad. I did what I thought at the time was a bad job at the interview process, and that really beat me up. I really went into the imposter syndrome kind of mentality for a long time, and I almost completely stopped trying to be in software engineering. And then suddenly I did get a call back from a company. I went through their interviews. It was with a DoD firm at the time, and I ended up landing a job. And I was like, what the heck? So this article, I talk about that. I tell the story about how we all go through that hard time. We all get our butts kicked in the interview process to some extent. Some people are lucky and they land a job right away. Others, you have to apply and apply and apply. You fail interviews, you begin thinking that you're not really a good developer, maybe you're not meant for this industry, and sometimes you end up quitting. You just stop trying because you get denied so much, it hurts. So you just stop trying and you go and do something else. But then some of you stick it out, and you go and get a job, and you keep progressing. And I wanted to cover that in this talk. It's something we all go through. I've gone through it over the past 10 to 15 years. I'm now past it, thankfully, and I want you guys to be aware of it. I don't want you guys to get stuck early on in your careers or mid-career. It's a hard time to be in. So if you guys like this post, if you guys enjoy the article, please do comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also jump on our newsletter on Journey to Programming. That'd be great. And look for the book. I'll be probably posting a link down below. So check it out. Again, this is Isa with Journey to Programming. If you guys have any questions, send us an email. There's a contact form on the website. I think it's under Request a Topic. You can also just post any questions that you have for us, and we'll get back to you pretty quickly. Have a good one.